Dear friends, welcome to the Essentials of Inorganic Chemistry. I am your friend Dr. V.D. Bhatt and I am discussing a chapter entitled Symmetry. This is the second talk in the series and today I am going to discuss a symmetry operation called reflection. Friend, by now you must have already attended my first talk in this series, which was about the introduction of the concept of symmetry and an operation called rotation operation. I am really excited to have some comments from you and also some suggestions so that I can help you in better learning. You can write your comments and suggestions in the comment box of the video. So let us begin the concept of reflection in symmetry. First we will take the definition of plane of reflection. Friends, just like in case of rotation, you are trying to identify a line or an axis passing through the center of the molecule, about which if you rotate it, then you may observe the indistinguishable appearance of the molecule once or more than once while you complete a 360-degree rotation. In the same way, while studying the operation called reflection, you have to try and find out a plane in a molecule, and if you reflect the molecule in that plane, and if you see that the appearance of the molecule remains unchanged, then it is called plane of reflection. Remember that reflection is a process in which the sides get interchanged. So, if the appearance of a molecule remains unchanged after reflection in a plane, then this plane of symmetry is called plane of reflection. That is the definition of the plane of reflection. Next, the plane of reflection is denoted by a symbol sigma. Now friends, reflection is a process or an operation that we carry out so many times. We know one very interesting characteristic of reflection, that is, reflecting a molecule or any object twice in the same plane always returns the original identity of the molecule. If you reflect something in a plane, then the sides will get interchanged. If you reflect that if you reflect that object with the interchanged sides again, then once again the interchange will take place, which means that the original identity will get restored. Mathematically, we can say that sigma multiplied by sigma, that is reflection followed by one more reflection, is equal to sigma square, and that is always equal to E, that is the identity. Now, if the plane of reflection contains principal axis, then the symbol given to the symmetry element is sigma V. Examples to understand the concept of reflection. We'll begin with one of the simplest molecules, water molecule. You all know that the principal axis of rotation in water molecule is an axis passing through the oxygen atom, which in the picture you can see, which has to be parallel to that of the z-axis in this particular case. This is C2 axis because if we rotate this water molecule through an angle of 360 degree like this, then by the end of the process we will be able to see the same appearance two times. So 360 divided by 2 is the value of n. So this axis is called C2 axis. And in the water molecule, there is no other axis which is having order higher than 2. Therefore, this C2 axis itself is the principal axis. Now, let us find out the plane of symmetry in this water molecule. The first one could be, let me move this a little bit and you will be able to understand. The first one could be a plane as shown in the figure YZ. What happens if we consider a plane passing through the central atom oxygen and then try to reflect the molecule through this plane? Then, as I have already explained you, the reflection always gives the sides interchanged. What happens? Upon reflection, the positions of H3 and H2 will be interchanged, and since the oxygen is divided into two parts by the plane, there will be a symmetry on both the sides of the plane. Oxygen will be equally distributed on both the sides of the plane. Therefore, upon reflection, you will see that the result of the reflection will be like this. And even if the positions of the two hydrogen atoms are changed, but hydrogens are hydrogens. Once again, I would like to remind you that the numbering of these atoms is only at our end. The atoms are not numbered in the actual molecules. Just to identify the positions of the atoms, we are numbering them. Here we see that the positions of H2 and H3 gets interchanged, but the molecule looks same because both are the hydrogen atoms. So this YZ plane, or a plane similar to that of YZ, which is passing through the oxygen, is now a plane of symmetry, a plane of reflection, a plane of reflection. Now let us try and find out the relation between the plane of reflection and the principal axis. I have already shown you that the principal axis in water molecule is an axis passing through the oxygen atom, which in the picture you can see that it is parallel to the Z axis. And the plane that we have identified is your YZ plane. Now you can see that the Z axis passes through the YZ plane. Therefore, the plane of reflection that we have identified in the water molecule the principal axis passes through the plane of reflection that we have identified in the water molecule. And therefore, by definition, we will be able to say that this sigma plane is called sigma V. The water molecule has one more plane of reflection. I will show you which one. For that, what I am going to do is, I am going to tilt this water molecule and I am trying to put it into the plane like YZ itself. So consider this YZ as an edge of the blade, of a blade, and then when I move it, when I move this water molecule, it will get cut into two equal parts this way. So one half of the part will be on the right hand side of the YZ plane and the other part will be on the left hand side of the YZ plane, and both these parts will be identical, will have same appearance. Therefore, this plane is also a plane of symmetry as far as reflection is concerned. Now this plane is called molecular plane because this is the plane in which the molecule lies, and again you will see that this plane also lies, rather the principal axis lies in this plane also. Therefore, this plane is also called sigma V. So in all, water molecule has two planes of symmetry as far as reflection is concerned, sigma V1 and sigma V2. 2. The first one is, if you keep the molecule like this, then you can see that the molecule gets divided into two equal parts if we cut it through this YZ plane. And the other one is the molecular plane itself, this one. So your sigma V prime and C2, and the omnipresent or always present element of symmetry is your E, the identity element. So that was something about the water molecule. Next we can take ammonia molecule and understand the concept in a better way. Now, as far as ammonia is concerned, we have also studied the rotation, the axis of rotation in ammonia. In the previous lecture, we discussed that the ammonia molecule is a molecule of the shape like a tripod stand, where the 3 hydrogen atoms occupy the positions of the legs of the tripod stand, whereas the nitrogen atom occupies the head position of the tripod stand. And if I rotate this ammonia molecule along this axis, that is the axis passing through nitrogen, which is parallel to that of the Z axis, then as I complete the rotation of 360 degree, I am supposed to observe the same appearance 3 times, and therefore that axis is called C3 axis. And this molecule does not contain an axis of rotation with order higher than 3. Therefore C3 is the principal axis in case of ammonia. Now let us find out which are the planes of reflection in your ammonia molecule. See, let me arrange this little bit so that it becomes easier for you to visualize. Okay, see, if I do like this, I bisect this molecule in YZ plane, then what happens? The H3 will be divided into 2 equal parts. The nitrogen will also be divided into 2 equal parts, whereas the positions of the H2 and H4 will be interchanged. But once again, the numbers actually don't matter. The numbers we have done only for our convenience. The appearance will remain same. So that is your one of the plane of reflection in ammonia molecule, a plane passing through N1 and H3, which will be very similar to that of the YZ plane as shown in the picture. Now again you will see that this YZ plane contains the Z axis. Therefore the name of this plane will be sigma V. You know, this Z axis we have already seen. If I put the ammonia molecule like this, then your Z axis is the principal axis, and the principal axis contains your, rather the sigma V contains your principal axis, and therefore it is called sigma V, vertical. So what we did in the first case, we bisected H2 and N1. Now instead of that, say if we bisect H3 and N1, then what is going to happen? The H3 will be divided into 2, nitrogen will be divided into 2 equal parts, and the positions of H2 and H4 will be interchanged, but then the appearance will again remain same. And this plane also contains the principal axis, and therefore this plane is also sigma V. Now you can easily make out that the same thing can be done with H4. if the plane bisects H4 and N1 and we carry out the reflection, you see N1 and H4 will be equally distributed, whereas H3 and H2 will have the positions interchanged, but the appearance will remain same, and therefore this is also a plane of reflection, and this plane also contains the principal axis, therefore it is also called sigma V. So you have a C3 axis in ammonia, you have 3 sigma V planes in ammonia, and you also have the identity element E as the symmetry element in ammonia. Now there is a special class of sigma V plane which is known as sigma D. D stands here for dihedral, and this type of plane is found only in some molecules. Sigma D is found in molecules having C2 axis. I have said AXES axis, that is if you have more than one C2 axis. So sigma D is found in molecules having C2 axis which are at the right angles to the principal axis. So if the molecule contains more than one C2 axis and these C2 axes are perpendicular to the principal axis, then there is a possibility of finding a plane of reflection called sigma D. Now if the plane of reflection bisects the two adjacent C2 axes and also the principal axis passes through it, then this plane of reflection is called sigma D, that is dihedral plane of reflection. In case if the plane of reflection is perpendicular to the principal axis, then that plane of reflection is denoted by symbol sigma H. So basically there are two types of planes of reflections, sigma V vertical and sigma H horizontal. Sigma V plane sometimes can be denoted as sigma D if the conditions required for the plane to be a dihedral plane is satisfied. Take a new molecule, benzene. Benzene is much more symmetrical than the molecules that we have studied till now. In addition to the axis of rotation C, it will contain sigma D and also sigma H. So let us have a look at it. Benzene is C6H6 and the shape of benzene is hexagonal. Now I will show you the C6, that is the principal axis of rotation in benzene. For the purpose, I will have to arrange the molecule in such a way that the C1 will cover the C4, and in the same way C3 will go behind the C2 and C6 will go behind, C5 will go behind C6. Therefore at a time you will not be able to see all the atoms, but you definitely know the structure of benzene and therefore you will be able to understand. Now what I am doing is I am rotating this molecule through an axis which is passing through the center of the benzene, which is parallel to the Z axis in the picture. Just keep a track of the carbon atom. See, you have C1 in the front right now, and as I begin the rotation, you will see that after a rotation of 60 degree, the C2 will occupy the position of C1 and C1 go to the position of C6, and the appearance of the molecule will still remain the same. So just count how many times a carbon atom comes to this position as I complete the rotation of 360. So this is the first, C1 is the first, and then now I am starting the rotation. Now see, C2 has come to its position 2. Then C3 is occupying the position 3. C4 is occupying this position 4. Now you have C5 at its position 5 and you have C6. So in all, you will see that by the end of a rotation of 360 degree, the benzene shows the same appearance 6 times. Therefore, the principal axis which is passing through the center of the benzene molecule is a C6 axis. Now, let us find out the planes of reflection in this molecule. Before that, let us have a look at the C2 axis, because if you want to study the sigma D, you have to also understand the C2 axis. That is the requirement. There has to be more than one C2 axis which are perpendicular to the principal axis. Where is the principal axis? It is passing through the center of the molecule. Whereas you will see C2 axis. Now I will show you. There will be many C2 axes in this molecule. What is the requirement for being a C2 axis? The same appearance should be repeated when you rotate it by an angle of 180 degree. So let us do that. Just take a look at an axis which will pass through C1 and C4. So I will rotate this benzene molecule about this axis. C1 and C4 are two oppositely placed carbon atoms. When I rotate this, you will see that at an angle of 180, the position which is right now occupied by C6 will be occupied by C2. And in the same way, the positions of C5 and C3 will be interchanged, whereas the atoms C1 and C4 will maintain their position. So I am rotating it. See, the positions are interchanged and the appearance is indistinguishable, the same appearance. If I further rotate to 180, then again the original arrangement will come into the picture. Once again, you see, C2 is at its own position, C3 its own position, and the identity restored. So this axis passing through C1 and C4 is your C2 axis. Similarly, you can have one more C2 axis passing through C3 and C6. So if I rotate around C3 and C6, then also what is going to happen? C2 and C4 will interchange the position at an angle of 180 and the appearance will be same. In the same way, C1 and C5 will also interchange the positions. It will look somewhat like this. This is a rotation of 180 about an axis passing through C3 and C6. If I further rotate, then once again the original arrangement of the atoms will come into the picture. So you had C1 and C4, you had C3 and C6. In the same way, C2 and C5 is also a C2 axis. An axis passing through C2 and C5 is also going to be a C2 axis, because if I rotate, then the positions of C6 and C4 will be interchanged. Similarly, C1 and C3 will be interchanged. whereas the C2 and C5 will remain in its position at an angle of 180 degree. So it is a C2 axis. So now we have identified the principal axis, and we have also identified three C2 axes. Which are they? Passing through the oppositely placed carbon atoms. The axis passing through the oppositely placed carbon atoms, these are the three C2 axes. Now, for a plane of symmetry to be sigma d, it has to pass through, or it has to bisect, that is the word we have used. It has to bisect the two C2 axes which are perpendicular to each other. So see, in this arrangement also you can see that this y axis, that is the axis passing through C6 and C3, and the axis passing through C4 and C1, or rather let me reorganize it a little bit, then it will be easier for you to understand. It has to bisect. So if I put it like this, just give me a second. Meanwhile, you can keep track of the motions that I am giving to the molecule. Yes, let us take this one. You have an axis like an axis parallel to the z axis shown in the background, and an axis parallel to an axis named y axis shown in the background, C6 and C3. Now consider a plane passing between C6 and C1 and also C4 and C3. Here, the bisecting plane. So see, I am reducing the size of the molecule a little bit and then changing the orientation a little bit, and I will show you how. In order to move it, I will have to restore the window for a moment, and then it will be easy. Okay, I have restored the window, and once again I am showing you the full screen, and this time I will be able to move the molecule, and you will see what I am going to do is can you see the YZ plane? The YZ plane is dividing this molecule into two parts, two equal parts, because it is passing from the middle of C4 and C3 and also C1 and C6. And then you will see that the molecule gets equally distributed on both the sides of YZ plane. Therefore, that is a plane of symmetry, and that is a sigma d plane. You know, it is sigma d plane because, number one, it is bisecting, this plane is bisecting the two axes, two C2 axes, one passing through the C4 and C1 and one passing through the C6 and C3. The plane is in between the axis formed by C6 and C3 and an axis formed by C4 and C1. It is bisecting two C2 axes, and these two C2 axes are perpendicular to the principal axis, because you know the principal axis passes from the middle of the molecule. The principal axis should be somewhere here. If I arrange it like this, and the principal axis will be somewhere here. So your C4, your axis passing through C4, C1 or any two opposite atoms will be perpendicular to the C2 axis. So what happens? You have a plane which contains the principal axis, and the plane also bisects the 2C2 axis. Therefore, it is called sigma D. Friends, the concept of dihedral plane in symmetry is one of the most tricky one, and therefore, if required, you please don't get shy. You attend this lecture more than once, and you can also post some questions or your doubts, so that I will try to explain the same thing to you in some different way, and with a hope that you will be able to understand this in a better way. Now, the most difficult part is almost over. Now I have to introduce one more plane of symmetry present in benzene. What I am going to do is, I am going to put this benzene molecule in your xy plane, flat, and then if this xy plane cuts this benzene molecule into two equal parts from the middle of each of the atoms, like this. It divides C1 into two halves, C2 into two halves, C3 into two halves, and so on. So then again, what happens? This benzene molecule is divided into two identical parts, and therefore that also is a plane of symmetry. Now this plane of symmetry is called sigma H, because this xy plane does not contain the principal axis as shown by Z in this picture. Instead, the principal axis is perpendicular to your xy plane, and in such case the plane of symmetry is called sigma H. So in all, you have seen that the benzene molecule contains the principal axis passing through the center of the molecule, that is your C6. Then you have C2 axis, like axis passing through C1 and C4, then your axis passing through C6 and C3, then axis passing through C2 and C5, oppositely placed atoms. Then you have seen the dihedral planes of symmetry, a plane passing between C6 and C1 and C4 and C3, between these two atoms, two adjacent atoms. So a similar plane will be there between C6, C5 as well as C2, C3, and one more plane will be passing between C1, C2 and C4, C5. So you will have three sigma D planes. In addition to that, you will also have pure sigma V planes. Pure sigma V plane will be like a plane dividing this, or rather passing through C4 and C1, not between the two atoms, passing through C4 and C1, a plane. This will also contain your principal axis, therefore it is a sigma V plane. A similar plane will pass through C6 and C3, a plane that can divide the molecule into two halves. Just check the YZ plane in this case. You have C6 at one end, C3 at another end, and so this C6 and C3 are symmetrically divided, whereas on the right hand side of the plane you have C2 and C1. On the left hand side you have C4 and C5. So if I reflect, then what happens? C3 and C6 will remain on its position, whereas the positions of C2 and C1 will be interchanged with C4 and C5 respectively. This is what will happen. C3 and C6 will remain on its position like this, and the remaining atoms will interchange the position. The appearance will remain same. So you have a C6 axis, you have three C2 axes, you have three sigma D planes, and you have also 3 sigma V planes. And finally, we have also identified the molecular plane in the benzene as the sigma H plane. Not only that, the omnipresent element of symmetry E is also going to be a member of the elements of symmetry in benzene. Friends, I know that the 3D concept is relatively easier to understand, but in our education system you will also be required to reproduce these pictures in your answer books in the examination. For that you will have to use pen and paper, and that is why I am also adding this picture in the presentation. Let us take a look at the first one. This is your water molecule, and in water molecule you can see that the C2 axis passes through the oxygen atom, and similarly you have a sigma V which passes through the middle of the oxygen atom, and then you have yet another sigma V which is in the plane of the molecule. So 2 sigma V planes and 1 C2 axis, and in addition to that of the element of symmetry E. Next you can see the ammonia molecule. Here also you know the C3 axis is an axis passing through the nitrogen only, whereas you can have 3 sigma V planes in ammonia, each including one of the hydrogens and nitrogen. So you include one hydrogen and nitrogen, the remaining 2 will be equally distributed on both the sides of the plane, therefore it becomes plane of symmetry. So you will have sigma V1, sigma V2 and sigma V3. In the same way, this picture describes the elements of symmetry in benzene. This is your benzene molecule and the C6 axis passing through the middle. If you rotate like this, then by the time you complete 360 degree of rotation, the original appearance will be restored 6 times. Then I have shown you the C2 axis passing through the 2 opposite atoms. So this is your one C2 axis, this could be the second C2 axis, this atom and the other opposite atom. Then you can have one more C2 axis from here and the other opposite atom. So 3 C2 axis. Then you have sigma V. I have already told you that sigma V will be dividing the atoms into 2 parts. So passing through the opposite atoms, that is your sigma V. You will have 3 sigma V planes, and then you have sigma D. Sigma D will be passing between the atoms. So like here, this way. In the same way, it can pass like this, and also it can pass like this. So these are the 3 sigma D planes. And finally, you have sigma H, which is the plane of the molecule. If you cut this molecule into 2 parts, then also on both the sides you will have the symmetry. So these are the elements of symmetry in your water molecule, then ammonia molecule and benzene molecule. So here I conclude this lecture, and once again I would like to remind you that if you have any doubts, any suggestions, then you can definitely post your comments in the video, and in the next lecture I may discuss the operation called improper rotation and also inversion and so on. So thank you and goodbye.